want to come around me so you will be able to see it more clearly. Okay, again, it's following above, but a kind of a review from last week what I showed you last week. So again, try to find a nice circle. Try to place your clay right in the circle here. You don't need to slam it down, just put it right there, and then just pound it so that in the meantime when you pound it, see that I'm spinning my wheel, so I kind of detect which spot is a little bit off. I apply a little bit more pressure. Okay. All right. And again, you still remember 3 S's. Speed control, speed and speed of the wheel, movement speed of your hand, slippery, and support, right? Good support, strong support. Okay. So speed is good, like I would say like 70–80% of it, of the full power, and then slippery. Okay, when you apply water, okay, you don't want to, and then you sponge it and drip all over, okay? You want to apply water effectively, okay? So just get water on your hand and then just put it on the surface. That's enough, okay? You don't need to pour it in, okay? That's a waste of water, right? So the water is good, and then finding support, right? The splash pan, right? Okay, holding my hand right here, anchor it, and then I'm gonna squeeze the clay. And remember, I told you that I try to squeeze the clay when curving my fingers. And when I'm curving my fingers, make sure the left fingertip doesn't apply any pressure on the clay. Instead, I want to use my right fingertip. Okay. So rest my left on my right and just squeeze it up. Okay. Keep on squeezing it up if you like. And you can see that a lot of the finger mark, right? And then I'm going to push back down. Okay. Try to push back down so when the uneven spot, I will push the clay to fill in the uneven spot. And when I'm pushing back down, make sure that right hand does the work, okay? You want to be very strong. Hold it right there and push the clay down and twirl my right hand. And if my right hand is not moving, the clay has nowhere to go, okay? You're going to do this a couple times, okay? Up and down, go up and push back down. And when I push back down, see that my fingertip is kind of holding on the bottom here to when I push down, it's kind of a content in the clay so that the clay doesn't spread out too wide. Okay. If I'm kind of keep on pushing it, see that? The clay is getting wide, right? So actually my right hand is there when I'm pushing it. The right fingertip is holding right there in the corner so that the clay doesn't spread out. Okay, and remember when you push, last week probably some of you might experience that it's hurting here, right? Because when you push, actually not too much pressure down here on the bed, okay? Still the clay, not the bed, okay? All right, once you have a good center, okay, you place your hand there and spin the wheel fast, your hand is not going to move, okay? That's the center. Or you can lean back and watch it, okay? From a distance that you know that this is in the center too. It doesn't wobble, okay? So you want to be perfect center before you open it, okay? If you don't have a good center, try to open it, it's going to end up one side thinner, one side thicker, and when you lift it up, it's going to be wobble, not level. Okay, so make sure you have a good center before you open it, right? And when I have a center, I like to open it using my thumb, okay? And again, support it, okay? put your hand there on the side of clay and to support it. So I'm going to use my right thumb only to dig a small hole here. Okay, this is the hand. Okay, this is the hand. Okay, here is the hand. And the hand, the left hand is just to stabilize. Basically, it's the thumb and the finger here is holding. Squeeze it down. Okay, this is the hand. Okay, and when you let go of your hand, okay, always be very gentle. Okay, if I'm digging here, I let go. It start to wobble. So be very slowly when you release your hands. Okay, right? So I have a hole here. Now I'm gonna put more water in here, and then we're gonna dig more. Okay, and this is what I'm gonna do. Using my left hand to drill a hole. Okay, use all the fingers instead of one or two. Okay, all your fingers gonna form naturally there. So basically, I'm gonna push the hand. Okay, push, squeeze it from the center all the way. Okay, and when I'm drilling, see that this hand here is loose, no support, right? So I'm gonna put my right hand here on the side of clay, and then put my thumb hanging on the back. So this is the hand when I'm drilling. Okay, and again, the arm is attaching to my body. So this stabilize my elbow, and then connect to here. Okay, this is the hand, and then when I'm drill down, and this hand is hanging there. So actually my hand is kind of compressing the wall while I'm drilling it. Stabilize here and drilling it. You can have my thumb here. You see that? This is my right thumb here to hold it while I'm compressing it, so that my rim doesn't get too thin. My rim is still quite kind of thick here. Right, and until you go all the way, I would say about 5/8 of an inch thick. Okay, and if you're not so sure, get a needle tool and you can poke a hole in the center and you measure it. Okay, you measure it. So I can still go a bit more. Alright, so this is about it. And like I told you that I'm going to make a ball. To make a ball is a little bit different from making a cylinder. When you're making a ball, you want to make sure the inside is like a curve. And when you make a cylinder, you want to have 90 degrees. So a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to leave my inside a curve. So I will start to lift from the side and try to pull it up. I will pull it up first, and then later on, if I want to open it wider, it will be easy. Okay, so always lift it up first. And basically, it's my thumb. Since this is short enough, so I'm going to use my thumb here. Just grab the wall and try to lift it up. Okay, make sure it's slippery enough, and I'm going to put my hand here to stabilize my left hand, and just pinch and lift it up.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making a cylinder, you would compress. How do you compress?
I compress down and then I spread it out so the bottom is flat.
It's not too much compression.
Not too much compression. Well, for cylinder, you can compress a little bit more because the bottom is flat and wide, so you can go a couple times. But for making balls, no, just the center point. Right, so here I am going to keep on pulling, lifting. Slowly move up, on. Remember the compression of the rim. Okay, pinch, and then this hand push down. Okay. Put the slip back to work. You can remove it from your fingertips. Right. So here, my thumb is maybe a little bit too short, so I'm going to use my right thumb to replace it. Okay. Squeeze it here. And again, slowly move up. Slowly let go of my hand. Compress the rim. There's a little air bubble here. Okay, the air bubble is in the way. This part here, you could get a needle tool to pop it off. Okay, poke a hole there, and slowly push to squeeze out the air from the inside. Okay, slippery again. Right, one more time. My thumb, start from the bottom. Right, so the wall is kind of thin. So now I'm going to use the rib, the wooden rib, to hold it. Okay, this is how I hold the rib. There's a hole here, so I'm going to use my thumb and index finger, hold it right there so that it doesn't slip up my fingers. With this point, the smaller point down, so that it's easier for me to tip over. Okay, this is how I hold it. And then try to compress from the inside and holding the rib steady. You see that? I'm raising my arm here. Just start from the bottom and slowly compress and push the wall wider. And basically, you see that I didn't even move my rib. It's my inside hand do the job. Right? And you can cut the excess clay off. Okay, use the wooden knife and just trim down. You hold just like holding a pencil. Okay. And the point like this, point down, not this way, okay, not this way, not this way, okay. This is where the blade cut into the clay, so holding down this way and slowly go until you hit the bed, and then just get a needle tool there from underneath, you undercut it. Okay, so you can cut your foot. You don't need to trim the excess clay. You can just trim it wet. Trim it wet. Okay. So that's the ball. But you see that when the ball, you making the ball, sometimes the inside part isn't perfect. Okay. So here's the tool that I designed it myself. Okay. This is the rib, the wooden rib. So you basically just dip it in the water, and there are 3 holes there, so your fingers just fit right there. Okay. And dip it in the water and just use that straight down in the center, and you compress it. And most of the rib, you see that if you have the traditional kind of wood rib, if you cross the center, it's going to get cut into the clay. But my design here is that the rib, there's a curve here. So when you even cross over the center point, still you have a curve here. It's the same way, like you do that on the right hand side, you don't do it on the left hand side. So the nice thing of this rib is that you got a curve all over, so It's very easy to compress, especially for the center of the bowl.
Okay, supposing you want a bowl that's shaped more like this, not so high, but round.
Yeah, you can still do it because it's this kind of rib, if you tip over, this is the curve, right? But once you tip over, the curve will be shallower. Okay, so if you want to have a shallow bowl, okay, like this one here, I like have a shallow bowl. I could compress down a bit more. Okay, so this part is wider. Okay, and if you want the rim a bit wider, just push down from there. But again, you see that when I'm doing it, where is my hand connected? Elbow, right? Elbow connected, so it's more stable, so that you get a bowl. And you just compress the. Okay, this is the chamois. Okay, we have 5-6 pieces here. So if you want to borrow it, feel free to borrow it. But remember, return it back to me, because I don't want you dumping into the clay and then gonna end up inside your clay. So make sure you return all that, because this is so tiny and it's very easy to get put it into the clay. Okay. So when you are using the chamois, okay, if you hold like this, it's a lot of friction. Okay, this is not a way to do it. Okay, you want to tip over. Basically, all you need is this curve here, the tip. So kind of lift up the bottom, just using the tip to compress. That's all you need. Okay, not this way. Okay, this way, tip over. And if you want to make sure that you want the rim looks thinner, apply a little bit more pressure. Let me show you. See that I compressed, so the rim looks thinner. Okay, visually it looks lighter. Even it's the same, but when the rim thicker, it looks heavier. The rim thinner looks lighter. Okay, so that's the bowl. And if there's a little residual slip inside, you can get a sponge and just pull it out from there. So that's how you make your bowl using that. Feel free to use my rib. Since you are in my class, feel free to use them, okay, to try it. Any question about throwing bowls?
About how much weight of clay did you use?
This about 1.5 pounds, maybe within 2 pounds. Okay. Right? So we still have like 45 minutes. Make 5 bowls. Yeah. Try it.
I do. I want to.